Yeah, voice is fine.
वेलकम। एम आई ऑडिबल? मेरी आवाज सुन पा रहे हैं? हेलो, वेलकम 5 days webinar of mathematics in the Department of Mathematics, SGRR PG College, Dehradun. Welcome all the participants and the invited speakers. We have with us 3 learned speakers today. Today is the second day of this seminar. First invited speaker, Professor Anita Tomar. She is in Department of Mathematics, Government Degree College, Satiud, Uttarakhand. She will deliver a talk on geometry of non-unique fixed points and Mexican head type discontinuous activation function. And we have already two more speakers are today. Dr. Nagen Sharma. Second speaker will be Dr. Dharmendra Yadav from Vardhaman College, Bijnor. He will deliver a talk on sustainable supply chain. And also we have with us Dr. Nagen Sharma. He will join from Taiwan. So I would like to invite and welcome Professor Anita Tomar. Please deliver your talk on the topic Mexican head type discontinuous activation function. Welcome, madam.
Thank you, Dr. Palaria. First of all, I would like to thank the organizing committee of International Webinar on Mathematics, especially the convener, Dr. Sanjay Kumar Palaria, members of the organizing committee, Dr. Anubhav Pratap Singh and Vivek Kumar, also the patron, Professor V.A. Borai, Chief Patron, Shri Mahant Devendra Das Ji Maharaj. I thank everyone involved in the conference, directly or indirectly. Thank you very much. So now I'm going to share my screen. Is it visible to everyone? Is it visible to everyone?
Yes, visible, ma'am.
Okay, voice is also audible?
Yes, ma'am.
So today I'm going to speak on geometry of non-fixed points and Mexican hat type discontinuous activation function. So what is a fixed point? In real life, a fixed point indicates a situation where a steady state condition or equilibrium is reached. For instance, in the biology, if we talk in the context of gene network, fixed points are often seen as stable pattern of gene expression at the basis of particular biological processes. If we talk about economics, Nash equilibrium of gain is a fixed point of game's best response correspondence. For Nash equilibrium only, John got the Nobel Prize. In compilers, fixed point computations are used for program analysis. For example, data flow analysis that is often required to do code optimization. The vector of page rank values of all web pages is the fixed point of linear transformation derived from the World Wide Web's link structure. In physics, more precisely, the theory of phase transitions, linearization near an unstable fixed point has led to the mathematical explanation of the term critical phenomena. Also, logicians make use of fixed points in influential theory of truth. In real life, fixed point indicates a situation where a steady state condition or equilibrium is reached. So, and after locating these fixed points, researchers find the stability of each fixed point and which is used to determine the functioning of a system and response of its application to future conditions. So what is actually fixed point? A point which remain invariant under a given transformation is called a fixed point. In graphical terms, a fixed point is a function, is the point of intersection of the curve y equal to tx and the line y equal to x. Otherwise, if t is a self map and y is any point in x, then y is called the fixed point if ty equal to y. And in graphical term, it is the intersection of the curve y equal to 3x and the line y equal to x. For example, if we consider a function t defined as tx equal to 4x into 1 minus x, then one may easily calculate 0 and 3 upon 4 are the fixed point of this function t, which is 4x into 1 minus x. So if we draw the graph of a function, the graph of this function is like a parabola, and this is the line y equal to x. The point of intersection of this curve and this line y equal to x is this point and this point. So clearly 0 and 3 upon 4 are the fixed point of 3. 3 upon 4 means 0.75. See, this is the 0.75, this is the 0.0. So 0 and 0.75 are the fixed point of this function, which is the intersection of the curve, of the given curve and the line y equal to x. If we define a function t on the set of real numbers as tx equal to 2x, then one may calculate that it has a unique fixed point which is at x equal to 0. If we define the function t equal to tx equal to x square, then it has two fixed points. T0 is 0, T1 is 1 square, which is 1. So 0 and 1 are the fixed point of this function. If we define a function tx equal to x, the identity map, then this function has infinitely many fixed points. If the function is defined like tx equal to x plus 2, then it has no fixed point. It is a translation map. So from all these examples, we see that this function has a unique fixed point. This function has a more than 2 fixed point. This function has infinitely many fixed point, and this function has do not have any fixed point. So there may be some other examples also which may have a unique fixed point, more than 1 fixed point, infinitely many fixed point, or even may not have a fixed point. So the motivation behind the talk is the fact that what maps have a fixed point. If the map have a fixed point, how do we determine the fixed point? If we determine the fixed point, is the fixed point unique? What is the geometry of fixed point? Then these are not unique. If the fixed point is not unique, there may be some geometry of the fixed point. So we are interested in finding the geometry of the fixed point. Do these have any applications in real world? So in this particular talk, I'm going to discuss the geometry of non-fixed points, and then I will give application of these non-fixed points for Mexican hat type non-continuous activation function. Actually, existence of fixed point plays a significant role in nonlinear analysis, as many real-world problems can be reformulated as a problem of finding fixed points of nonlinear maps. Fixed point theory is one of the most significant area of research in nonlinear analysis. And the first result in metric fixed point theory is due to Banach, which he discovered in 1922, in which he noticed that each contraction in a complete metric space has a unique fixed point. So one of the significant output of fixed point theory, or here we are discussing about metric fixed point theory, is when a map under minimal suitable conditions have a unique fixed point. But there may be some situation when a map may not have a unique fixed point. So no non-unique fixed points of a discontinuous self-map performs an essential role in fixed point theory. Because if the fixed point is not unique, then the set of non-unique fixed points may form a circle or a disk or an ellipse. And these may have several applications in biology, neural networks, economics, and artificial intelligence. So in this talk, first of all, we will familiarize with the notion of fixed ellipse in metric spaces, and after that we will discuss fixed circle and fixed disk in partial metric spaces. Also, we will discuss the geometric properties of the set of non-unique fixed points of a discontinuous self-map in reference to fixed ellipse column. After that, we will explore the geometric properties of with respect to fixed circle and fixed disk results. So what is a metric space? If M is any non-empty set, then a function D from M cross M to R plus means set of positive real numbers, is called a metric if the distance between two of its points is 0, if and only if these 2 points are equal. Secondly, distance of one point to another point is same as the distance of other point to the first one, means the distance is symmetric. And the third condition is the triangle inequality, means dWV is less than or equal to dWU plus dUV. These U, V, W are the points of the non-empty set M. If all these 3 conditions are satisfied, then we say that D is a metric, and together we called MD is a metric space. This was discovered by Frechet in 1906. So the portion of this talk is based on one of our recent paper, fixed point to fixed ellipse in metric spaces and discontinuous activation function, which is accepted for publication in Applied Mathematics e-notes. This paper is done in collaboration with Meena Joshi and Professor Sanjay Kumar Paladia. And in this paper, we actually discovered the geometric properties of non-unique fixed point in terms of ellipse. So the portion of this talk is based on this particular paper. Actually, ellipses emerge naturally in numerous areas. For instance, planetary orbits. We know that ellipse is a locus of a point for which sum of the Euclidean distances for the 2 foci is constant. A more natural perspective on ellipses is to define them as a flattened circles. So first of all, we will discuss ellipses in different metric spaces for different lengths of major axis and different foci, and then we will familiarize with the fixed ellipse in metric spaces. If C1 is one focus of the ellipse and C2 is another focus of the ellipse, and we consider a metric space MD, then the ellipse is defined as the set of all the points W belonging to M, such that its distance from the sum of its distance from 2 foci is equal to length of major axis. And the midpoint C of these foci, or the line joining this foci, is known as the center of a ellipse. Here the segment of length 2a on the line C1, C2 is a major axis. The line perpendicular to it through the center is the minor axis, and A is the length of semi-major axis of the ellipse. Suppose, the distance between 2 foci, which is nothing but 2f, is the linear eccentricity of the ellipse. And the numerical eccentricity of an ellipse is sin f upon sin u. It is clear that the circles are also ellipses of vanishing eccentricity, in which both the focal points are same. If C1 is equal to C2, then the ellipse is nothing but a circle of vanishing eccentricity. So this is the example. If we consider the set of real numbers, and we consider if we define a metric D as modulus of W minus V, where W and V belongs to the set of real numbers, then the ellipse whose one focus is at -2, another focus is at 2, and length of semi-major axis is 5, is nothing but the set of all the points W belonging to M, such that the distance of W from the sum of distance of W from two foci is twice of F, means 10. So if we calculate this using this usual metric, it will come out to be modulus of 2 plus W plus modulus of 2 minus W equal to 10, and which is nothing but the set consisting of two elements -5 and 5. So the ellipse centered at origin having foci at -2 and 2 is nothing but a set consisting of -5 and 5. Now suppose we consider a two-dimensional real space, and we define a metric as under root W1 minus V1 square whole square plus W2 minus V2 whole square. Suppose W is equal to W1 or W2 because we have considered two-dimensional space, and V is equal to V1, V2, and these are the elements of M. Is it audible? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So the ellipse whose one focus is at 2, 0, another focus is at 0, 2 is nothing but dC1W plus dC2W equal to 4. If we calculate this using this metric, then the equation of ellipse will be equal to under root of 2 minus W1 whole square plus W2 square plus under root W1 square plus 2 minus W2 whole square, and this is equal to 4. But if we consider the metric D defined as dWV equal to W1 minus V1 plus W2 minus V2, and W is equal to the ordered pair W1, W2, V is V1, V2, these are the points of M, then an ellipse having the same center. Same center means the center which considered in this example, which is 2, 0 and 0, 2. Same center and same focus. Same center and same foci is as above is modulus of 2 minus W1 plus modulus of W2 plus modulus of W1 plus modulus of 2 minus W2 equal to 4. If we consider the metric dWV equal to maximum of modulus of W1 minus V, and these are the points of the set M, then again an ellipse with the same center and same foci is maximum of 2 minus W1 modulus of W2 plus maximum of modulus of W1 modulus of 2 minus W2 equal to 4. So this is the shape of ellipse. This blue one shows the ellipse corresponding to the metric under root W1 minus V1 whole square plus W2 minus V2 whole square. This green one is the ellipse. If we consider the metric modulus of W1 minus V1 plus modulus of W2 minus V2. And these orange lines are the ellipse corresponding to a metric dWV equal to maximum of modulus of W1 minus V1, W2 minus V2, centered at the point 1, 1. Center of all the ellipses 1, 1 and foci 2, 0 and 0, 2 in this example. So center of all the ellipses is same, foci is same, one focus is a 0, 2, another focus is a 2, 0, but the shape of ellipse varies according to the metric we choose. Suppose we consider a metric dWV equal to modulus of W1 minus V1 plus W2 minus V2. Here the foci is 2, 0 and 0, 2, but we are changing the length of semi-major axis. The length of semi-major axis is, if semi-major axis is 2, then this is the shape of the ellipse. If the length of semi-major axis is 2.5, then this is the shape of the ellipse. If length of semi-major axis is 3, then this is the shape of ellipse. And if A equal to 4, then this is the shape of the ellipse. Of course, center of ellipse is 1, 1 for all these ellipses, and one foci is at 0, 2, another is at 2, 0. So again, we notice that if we change the shape, the value of semi-major axis, then also the shape is changing. Here it is a square, and here the shape is different. Again, if we consider the metric maximum of W1 minus V1 and W2 minus V2, and for A equal to 1, this is the red line is the ellipse. Here the center is 1, 1, one focus is at 0, 2, another focus is at 2, 0. And blue one is the ellipse for A equal to 2, and green one is the ellipse for A equal to 3. Also, ellipses corresponding to the metric dWV equal to W1 minus V1 plus W2 minus V2 for A equal to T, 2 with foci 2, 0 and 0, 2. This is the shape of the ellipse. One focus 0, 2, another focus 2, 0. If one focus is at 3, 3, another focus is at 4, 3, then this is the shape of the ellipse. If one focus is at 3, 0, another focus is at 5, minus 2, then this is the shape of the ellipse. If one focus is at minus 3, minus 2, another is at minus 1, 2, then this is the shape of the ellipse. So here the center is same, and for particular metric, if we change the value of the foci, the shape of ellipse also changes. Length of semi-major axis in all these ellipses is fixed, which is 2. So it is fascinating to see that shape of some ellipses may change on changing the length of semi-major axis or foci. So now we will introduce the definition of fixed ellipse in metric space. If one focus of the ellipse is C1, another focus is at C2, and length of ellipse is A, length of semi-major axis is A, and we consider a metric space as MD, and then E, C1, C2 is a ellipse. If we define a self-map A in a metric space MD such that if AW is equal to W, AW equal to W means W is the fixed point of A. For all W belonging to this ellipse, means for all the points on this ellipse, then this ellipse is called the fixed ellipse. Means if W is the fixed point of A for all the points on the ellipse, then this ellipse is called the fixed ellipse of A. So this is our first main result. If we consider an ellipse in a metric space MD and the function sigma as sigma W equal to D C1W plus D C2W, where C1, C2W are the points of M. If there exists a self-map satisfying these conditions, then in that case, this ellipse is a unique fixed ellipse. Notice that this third condition is nothing but a Banach contraction. This is the Banach contraction which was given by Stephen Banach in 1922. So if all the three conditions are satisfied, then in that case, this ellipse is a unique fixed ellipse. If any one of these conditions is not satisfied, then there will not exist a fixed ellipse. And if third condition is not satisfied, then there may exist a fixed ellipse, but it may not be unique. So So it is obvious that the first condition implies that AW is in the exterior of ellipse, and second condition implies that AW is in the interior of ellipse. So this is a simple proof of the ellipse. I'm not going into detail of this proof because these are simple calculations which can easily be done using the postulates. And if we use this condition, one may clearly notice that W will come out to be fixed point of A. And because we have taken W to be arbitrary point, so this will be a fixed ellipse. And if we assume that there are two ellipses, then in that case, using the simple Banach contraction, we may deduce that there cannot exist two ellipses. The ellipse will essentially be a unique fixed ellipse. If all the three conditions are satisfied, then this ellipse will be a unique fixed ellipse of a self map A. So this is the example in support of our result. Suppose we consider a two-dimensional space and we define a metric D as under root W1 minus V1 whole square plus W2 minus V2 whole square, where W is this point because we are considering a two-dimensional space, and V is equal to V1, V2. Then if one focus of the ellipse is at minus 3, 0 and another focus is at 3, 0, and these are the points of M, then the equation of ellipse with these foci and length of semi-major axis 5 is nothing but the set of all the points such that its distance from sum of its distance from two foci is twice of 5, means 10. By simple calculation, we may observe that the equation of ellipse will be W1 square upon 25 plus W2 square upon 16 equal to 1. If we define a self map A as AB equal to AB for AB belonging to 5 cos theta 4 sin theta and CD otherwise, then in that case, you may not notice that this Banach contraction is satisfied. It means A verifies all the postulates of the theorem which we stated in last slide, and this A fixes the unique ellipse whose focus is at, one focus is at C1, another focus is at C2, length of semi-major axis is 5. That is, a set of non-unique fixed points of A contains a unique ellipse E, C1, C2, 5. So this is the diagram which demonstrates our example. This is the shape of ellipse. This shape of ellipse is same as we get the shape of ellipse in Euclidean plane. And this diagram demonstrates that this ellipse is fixed by the function A. And the center of this ellipse is 0, 0, and foci are minus 3, 0 and 3, 0. This is one more example which demonstrates the significance of our postulates which we discussed in theorem 1. If you consider a real space and define a metric as dWV equal to modulus of W minus V, the ellipse whose one focus is 1, another focus is at 2, length of semi-major axis is 2.5, is nothing but the set of all the points W belonging to M, whose distance from the two foci, sum of the distance from two foci is equal to 5, means twice of 2.5, which is 5. And by simple calculation, it will come out to be equal to the set consisting of two elements minus 1 and 4. If we define a self map A as AW equal to 1, if W belongs to the point on the ellipse and minus 1 otherwise, then a self map A verifies only the first condition of our theorem 1. But it does not satisfy second and third condition. So you may observe that A does not fix this ellipse, and consequently A does not fix any ellipse. This is one more example of a two-dimensional real space. If we define a metric dWb equal to under root W1 minus V1 whole square plus W2 minus V2 whole square, where W and V are the points of M, then the equation of ellipse whose one focus is at minus 50, another focus is at 50, length of semi-major axis is at 13, is nothing but by simple calculation it will come out to be W1 square upon 169, W2 square upon 144 and equal to 1. And a self map A, if we define a self map A as W0 for all those points for which W is greater than 0 and 0V for all the points for which W is less than or equal to 0, then a self map A satisfies the condition, second condition, but it does not satisfy first and third condition of our theorem. Hence, A does not fix the ellipse which we discussed here. A does not fix this ellipse, whose equation is this. However, A fixes the points on the ellipse which, such as 13, 0, 0, 12, 0, minus 12. These are the points fixed by A. However, it does not fix any ellipse. There is one more example. If we consider a set of real numbers and consider a usual metric, then the ellipse with the one focus at 2, another focus at 4 and length of major axis as 5, then this ellipse will be equal to the set of points consisting of minus 2 and 8. If we define a self map as AW equal to minus 2, if W belongs to minus infinity to minus 2, and 8 if W belongs to 2 to infinity. Then in this case, one may verify that A verifies all the postulates of theorem 1 except the third one. Third one was nothing but a Banach contraction. So it means A fixes an ellipse, that is the set of fixed points of a self map A contains at least one ellipse which is E with the foci at 2, 4 and semi-major axis 5. However, this ellipse may not be a unique ellipse. There may exist infinitely many ellipses other than this particular ellipse which are fixed by this self map A. So, if we in the theorem which we discussed in last slide, if we replace the second condition by eta dw aw plus dc1 aw plus dc2 aw, which is greater than or equal to 2a, where eta is nothing but a point which belongs to the interval 0, 1, which is closed at 0 and open at 1. Then in this case, all the conclusions of theorem 1 remains true. Clearly, the first condition implies that AW is in the exterior of ellipse, and this particular condition implies that AW is in the interior of ellipse. This is simple proof of the theorem. I am not going to in detail of this proof because all the steps are easy and can be done by using the conditions which we have framed for the existence of unique fixed point. So this is the example in support of this result. The metric under consideration is modulus of W1 minus V1 plus W2 minus V2, and the ellipse by simple calculation will come out to be modulus of 1 minus W1 plus modulus of 2 minus W2 plus modulus of W1 plus modulus of 2 minus W2 equal to 4. If we define our mapping A as AB, where AB belongs to this ellipse and it is equal to 1 upon 15 into 0 to 0.5 interval. Otherwise, means AB does not belong to this ellipse, then one may verify that A verifies all the postulate of theorem 2 and it fixes this particular ellipse. Also, this ellipse is a unique fixed ellipse because all the postulates of theorem 2 are verified by self map A. And this is the graphical representation of our example. Here you may notice that the shape of the ellipse is not same as we have in the Euclidean plane. Shapes of ellipse is different. Although this ellipse is fixed by self map A, and this is a unique fixed ellipse. Again, we are going to give examples in support of our conditions to demonstrate that all the postulates of theorem 2 are also very significant. If any one of the condition is not satisfied, then there may not exist a unique fixed ellipse. If you, like in this example, if the ellipse is -3,3, and if we define a self map A like this, then you may verify that it satisfies the only first condition of the theorem, but it does not satisfy second and third condition, and it means this self map A does not fix this ellipse, and also as a result, it does not fix any of the ellipse. This is one more example where zeta is chosen such that dC1 zeta is equal to dC2 zeta equal to mu, where mu is greater than 2a. If we consider a self map A as AW equal to zeta, where W is a point of set M, then a self map A verifies the postulate, second postulate, but does not verify the first one. It means A does not fix the ellipse. Again, if we consider a metric as log W minus log B, and where M is on the set M, where M is nothing but a set of positive real numbers, then this ellipse will come out to be e raised to power -3 and e raised to power 4. If we define a self map A as like this, then in this case, the self map A verifies all the postulate of theorem 2 except the third one, which is the Banach contraction. It means A fixes the ellipse, but this ellipse is not a unique ellipse. There may exist many other ellipses also. Infinitely many ellipses. This is one more example which demonstrates the significance of a result. In this case, we have considered a discrete metric, means it is equal to 0 for W equal to B, and this is the ellipse. In this case, we have discussed 4 conditions, and for all the 4 conditions, we have different ellipses. Like for the 4th condition, the ellipse is complete set M minus the singleton set C2. For the second case, it is the empty set. For third case, it is M minus C1 C2, and for third case, it is C1 C2. C1 C2A is nothing but 5. So ellipse is null set. If we define self map A like this, then in this case, a self map A verifies all the postulates of theorem 2 except the condition 3, which is the Banach contraction. It means a set of non-unique fixed points of A contains at least one ellipse. However, one may observe that an ellipse is not a unique ellipse. There may exist infinitely many ellipses on varying the values of foci C1, C2 and length of semi-major axis A. So here I want to mention that ellipse defined in a metric space is not same as the ellipse in Euclidean space, as you have seen in all the previous examples. I have discussed many examples. Also, the shape of the ellipse may also change on changing the center, semi-major axis, foci and the metric. One more important thing is that semi-major axis of the fixed ellipse does not depend on the center, and it may not be maximal. This is very important point, that length of semi-major axis may not be maximal. Also, we know that W is a fixed point if AW is equal to W. But if we talk about ellipse, if image of ellipse under A is equal to the same ellipse, then it does not imply that this is a fixed ellipse of A. Means directly we cannot apply the definition of fixed point to fixed ellipse. If image of ellipse under A is equal to this, it means it may be a fixed ellipse or it may not be a fixed ellipse. So this is one proposition. Which gives the existence of a self map which fixes the given ellipse. If we have two ellipses, then there exists at least one self map A on M such that A fixes these ellipses. So this is the proof of this proposition. We have defined a function AW to be equal to W, where W belongs to the union of these ellipses, and this is equal to mu otherwise. So mu is some constant such that dC1 mu plus dC2 mu is not equal to 2A. And also dC1 dash mu plus dC2 dash mu is not equal to 2A dash. If we define a function sigma 1 and sigma 2 as sigma 1 W equal to sum of the distance of W from the foci, and sigma 2 W equal to sum of the distance of W from the foci of second ellipse, then A verifies all the hypotheses of our theorem which we discussed in last slide for both the ellipses. Hence, these ellipses are fixed ellipse of A. So following the similar pattern, above proposition may be extended for an ellipsis. One may observe that these ellipses need not be disjoint. Now this is a proposition on a metric space in which an ellipse contains all the points of a space except its foci, and validate it by giving example. Suppose we consider a set M to be the set of positive real numbers, and we define a metric dA as dAWB is equal to 0 if W equal to V, and it is equal to A if W is not equal to V. It means the ellipse whose one focus is C1, another is at C2, and length of same major axis is A, and this ellipse is in the metric space MDA. It contains all the points W belonging to M except the foci. This is the example in support of the proposition. Now we will discuss the circle and fixed X in partial metric spaces. And this portion of this presentation is based on the paper Fixed Point to Fixed Circle and Activation Function in Partial Metric Spaces. This paper is recently accepted for publication in Journal of Applied Analysis, and this paper is also done in collaboration with Meena Joshi and Professor Dr. Sanjay Kumar Paladia. In this paper, in this particular work, we exploit a partial metric variant of a classical chemistry map to establish that set of non-unique fixed points of a map includes a circle or a disk in a partial metric space, and verify these by illustrative examples with geometrical interpretations. So classical chemistry map was introduced by J. Chemistry in fixed point theorem for mappings satisfying inverness conditions in 1976. And in 2013, after so many years, this paper was generalized and extended to complete partial metric spaces in 2013. And now we are going to exploit this partial metric variant of this chemistry type mappings to demonstrate that the set of non-unique fixed point may include a circle or a disk in a partial metric space. So first of all, what is a partial metric space? If we consider a non-empty set P, and if we define a function rho like this, that self-distance of any point W is equal to the self-distance of another point B, and this is equal to the distance between this point W and V, if and only if W equal to V. Secondly, the self distance between 2 points is less or equal to distance between W and V. Thirdly, the distance of W from V is equal to distance of V and W. And fourth condition is the triangle inequality, which states rho WV is less or equal to rho WU plus rho UV minus rho UU, means self distance between the point U. If all the four conditions are satisfied, in that case, this function rho is called a partial metric. And together, P rho is called the partial metric space. And this partial metric space was introduced by S.G. Matthews in a paper, Partial Metric Topology, which is presented at proceedings of 8th Summer Conference on General Topology and Applications, and published in Analysis of New York Academic Sciences in 1994. We know that in case of a metric space, the zero self distance has been taken for granted. But it is interesting to see that in partial metric spaces, a self distances are not essentially zero. For instance, if we consider a metric PD, and if FP is the set of formal balls in P, P is any non-empty set, and we denote a ball with center W and radius R as NRW. NRW means a ball whose center is W and radius is R. And if we define rho means the distance between two balls. One ball is centered at W with radius R. Another ball is centered at B and radius S. If the distance between these two balls is equal to dWV plus maximum of RS, then this function rho defined like this is a partial metric. In this case, the self distance between balls is nothing but R. It is not zero. The self distance between two balls is R. And the triangle inequality of a partial metric is also satisfied. So this is a partial metric, not a metric. So it is significant to work in partial metric spaces because it is better and improved version of metric spaces. In metric spaces, zero self distance is taken for granted, but as you have observed here, in case of partial metric spaces, self distances are not essentially zero. So this is the Caristi partial metric variant of Caristi type map. This we are going to utilize for the existence of fixed circle and fixed ellipse. Sorry, fixed circle and fixed disk. Initially, in 2017, the concept of fixed circle and was initiated by Nihal Osgar and Nihal Tess. Their work was published in a journal, Bulletin of Malaysian Mathematical Sciences. So they introduced a fixed circle in metric spaces. However, we have extended their work to partial metric spaces due to the fact that partial metric spaces are more generalized and self distance in this space is not zero. So we have extended their work to partial metric spaces. So in this case, in partial metric space, we define a circle centered at W0 and radius R in a partial metric space as the set of all the points W belonging to P such that its distance from W0 is equal to R plus the self distance between W0, where W0 is a point belonging to P, and R, of course, because it is a radius of the circle, it belongs to 0 to infinity, means positive. It is a positive real number. So if rho W naught W is equal to R plus rho W naught W, this is added because self distance in partial metric space may not be 0. So this is the equation of ellipse. If this equality sign is replaced by less or equal to sign, then we call this disk centered at W naught and radius R. And we denote it by dW naught R. But it is important to point out here that a circle or a disk which is defined in partial metric space is not same as a circle or disk in a, it may not be a same. Not is, may not be a same as a circle or a disk in a Euclidean space. This I will demonstrate by two examples. In first example, I have taken two-dimensional real space and the metric is defined as maximum of under root W1 square plus W2 square under root V1 square plus V2 square. Here, because we have considered two-dimensional space, so W is equal to W1, W2 and V is equal to V1, V2. So the equation of circle with center W naught and radius 1 is the set of all the points such that the distance of the W from W naught is equal to 1 plus distance of W naught from W naught. If W naught is taken to be 0, 0, W naught is nothing but center of the ellipse. If it is taken as 0, 0, means center of the circle is at the origin, then in that case, using this metric, one may calculate that this self distance will come out to be 0. So it means the equation of a unit circle centered at the origin is nothing but rho W naught W equal to 1. So if we draw the graph of this function, if we consider a one point minus 1, 0 on the circumference of a circle and another point B W2 equal to under root 3 upon 2, 1 upon 2 on the circumference of a circle, we notice that its distance from origin, which is the center of a circle, OA or AO is equal to BO. These two distances are same and these two distances are equal to 1. 1 is nothing but the radius of the circle. So distance of A from O is equal to distance of B from O, which is equal to radius of the circle. So this circle is same as the circle in a Euclidean plane. But if we consider a center of the circle to be 1, 0, and if we use this metric and with center at 1, 0, in that case, rho W naught means self distance between W naught is not equal to 0. However, it will be equal to 1. So in this case, if we take center of the ellipse at 1, 0, then the equation of circle centered at 1, 0 and radius I have taken to be 2 is equal to rho W naught W is equal to 3. Because here the self distance is not equal to 0, it is equal to 1. So 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. So if we draw the graph of this circle, so in this case, this is the center of the circle. One point I have taken A, which is minus 3 upon under root 2, 3 upon under 2 on the circumference of the circle. Another point B, 3, 0 on the circumference of the circle. One may notice that this distance, the distance of A from O is equal to 3 because it is 2 plus rho W naught W naught. Distance of B from O is also 3. But the radius of circle is 2. So radius of circle is 2, but AO and BO is equal to 3. So actually this is the rough sketch of the circle because it is not possible to draw the exact shape of the circle in partial metric space due to the fact that here the distance AO and OB are equal. However, it is not equal to the radius of the circle. So this circle is not same as a circle in a Euclidean space. Now, if we consider a circle centered at W0 and radius R, and if we consider a partial metric P rho, then for a self map M, if the distance of W from MW is equal to self distance between W, and this is equal to the self distance between MW for all the points on the circle, then this circle is called the fixed circle of M. It means this is the condition for the existence of, this is the definition of fixed point in case of partial metric space. So if W is the fixed point of M for all the points on the circle, then this circle is called the fixed circle of M. But if instead of circle we consider a disk centered at W0 and radius R, then in that case, if it satisfies this condition, then this is called the fixed disk of M. So now we establish the non-unique fixed point of a map includes a circle or a disk. So these are the postulates of a theorem, and I just want to point out here that MW is in the, this condition implies that MW is in the exterior of the circle, and this condition implies that MW is in the interior of the circle. If all these conditions are satisfied, then CW0R is a unique fixed circle of M. But all these conditions are very significant. If any one of these conditions is not satisfied, then there may not exist a circle which is a fixed circle of M. And if this third condition is not satisfied, then this may not be a fixed circle may exist, but this may not be a unique fixed circle. So this condition is nothing but a partial metric variant of Banach contraction. This is the proof of the theorem. I'm skipping this part because I think less time is left. So this is the proof part. This is the example in support of our result. We have taken the set of complex number and we have defined the partial metric as modulus of W for W equal to V and 3/2 maximum of modulus W, modulus of V for W not equal to V. In this case, this circle will be equal to 6. And if we define a self map like this, then M verifies all the postulate of theorem 3 and fixes the circle centered at 2i and radius 4. The set of non-unique fixed points of M contains a circle. Clearly, M does not fix the disk. It only fixes the circle. It does not fix the disk. This is one more example to demonstrate the significance of other postulate. If any one of the condition is not satisfied, then there may not exist a unique fixed circle. I'm skipping this part. This is also one more example for the existence of unique fixed circle. And conclusion of our theorem also remain true if postulates of theorem 3 are replaced by these conditions, but all these conditions are also indispensable. If any one of these conditions are not satisfied, then there may not exist a unique fixed ellipse. And this is the example in support of the result. In this case, all the conditions are satisfied. This is the self map M, and this is the circle with respect to this set and with respect to this metric. This is the circle. And there are two cases we have discussed, but I'm skipping all this because there may be next speaker also waiting for their turn. This is also one more example. In this example, only first two conditions are satisfied, but third condition is not satisfied. So here in this case, M does not fix the ellipse. However, M fixes the points. So these are very important examples which we have taken and very significant result which are new in the theory of fixed point, because this geometric aspect of non-unique fixed point is not explored much till now. These are some of the references which you may visit if anyone interested in working in the direction of ellipse, non-unique fixed point forming an ellipse, circle, disc, this is our recent paper. This is also one of our recent paper. This is a proposition which demonstrates the condition for the existence of a self map which fixes the given ellipse. And this is the proof of the theorem. And we may also extend the proposition for an ellipsis. However, this however, these circles may not be disjoint. So now we discuss the continuity of a self map on a fixed ellipse and on a fixed circle. So it is interesting to mention here that a discontinuous map has a strong fascination among scientists, as most of the phenomena emerging in the real world are discontinuous in nature. So if we consider this ellipse, and if these are the conditions satisfied by this, so if the limit of a wn is equal to u, as wn tends to u, then we say that A is continuous at the ellipse if the limit of n, w and u as wn tends to u is equal to 0. Otherwise, this function is discontinuous on the ellipse. If this is not, this limit is not equal to 0, then this function is not continuous. It is a discontinuous function. This is similar result in case of circle, but this is in a partial metric space. The results, to prove a result is not simple in partial metric space due to the fact that in this case, the self distance is not equal to 0. Now, we know that the storage capacity of discontinuous activation function is higher than the continuous activation function. We discussed the Mexican hat type non-continuous monotonic discontinuous activation function, which we use to introduce non-linear properties to the neural network. So this is the Mexican hat type discontinuous activation function. The name is given like this because the shape of this function is like a Mexican hat. And we have considered the metric as usual metric and partial metric like maximum of modulus of u and maximum of v. If we take these constants, our discontinuous activation function will become this, and one may verify that this function satisfies all the postulates of theorem 1 and 2 which we discussed, and the ellipse will be equal to minus 3 by 2, 9 by 2, whose one focus is 1, another focus is 2, and center is at w equal to 3. Length of major axis is 3. If we take the limit of nw minus 3 by 2 equal to 0, as w tends to minus 3 by 2, then this limit will be equal to 0. And if w tends to 9 by 2, then limit is equal to 0. It means A is continuous at the fixed point minus 3 by 2, which belongs to this ellipse, and also at 9 by 2, which belongs to this ellipse. It means A is continuous at this ellipse. However, our Mexican hat type function is discontinuous, but the function is continuous at the ellipse. This is a monotonic, non-monotonic activation function. If we consider another example, so in this example, if we take the limit of nw4 as w tends to 4 for this ellipse, because this is the ellipse consisting of the point 4 and 9. So for 4, this limit is not equal to 0. For 9, the limit is equal to 9. So in this case, the function is discontinuous at an ellipse. So this is the graphical representation of our example. So this is the similar example for case of circle in a partial metric space. And this is the graphical representation of a Mexican hat type discontinuous non-monotonic activation function. However, the function is, our activation function is continuous on the fixed ellipse. And this is also one more example. In this case, M is continuous at W equal to minus 6 and discontinuous at W equal to 6. Minus 6 and 6 is the ellipse, is a circle. centered at 2 and radius equal to 4. So this is the Mexican half-type function. Here A is also discontinuous on the Mexican half-type function, which is already discontinuous and non-monotonic. So Mexican hat-type activation function is never monotonically increasing. And using NWB, we may decide the fixed point at which the activation function is continuous or discontinuous. We know that maximum human deaths on the earth are due to heart disease. ECG signal classification is a significant for early diagnosis and treatment of cardiac disease. Consequently, a wavelet neural network model is considered to be good for making neural network more efficient. It is worth mentioning here that maps having fixed point, fixed circle, fixed ellipse have been utilized in neural networks as an activation function. Hence, our results may also be applicable to neural nets, which is a significant application under suitable conditions. So we have explored a new direction to the geometric properties of the set of non-unique fixed points. And we have given the applications to Mexican half-type discontinuous activation function. But there are still some open problems. Are there any better nonlinear contraction which give the existence of non-unique fixed points, which include a circle, a disk, or an ellipse, or any other closed surface? Can we extend the result of this talk to some other spaces, like cone metric space, complex valued metric space, probabilistic metric space, G metric space, and so on? Can we give some more applications to the set of non-unique fixed points forming a circle, a disk, or an ellipse in metric spaces or partial metric spaces? So these are still an open problem. These are some of the references which are used by me. And thank you for your kind attention. I think I have tried to complete in time.
Thank you, ma'am. Anybody who is interested in this field can ask questions to ma'am. Anybody who is working on this field, fixed point theory. Actually, we are working in this field, fixed point theory. I know the ability of Professor Tomar. Thank you very much for the sparing valuable time for us, Professor Tomar. Anybody who wants? Yes, ma'am.
I want to thank you also.
Yeah. I know the ability of Professor Tomar. She has done a lot of work in fixed point theory, and she published more than 50 papers, and she has 210 citations. As we know the work of Professor Tomar, she is reviewer of mathematical reviews in division of American Mathematical Society, reviewer of number of research papers published in journals of indexed in Scopus, Web Science, Gendrablatt, Math Science Net, UGC Care list of journals, associate editor of advisory board member, editorial board member in international editorial boards. She also visited in various countries, Senegal, Taiwan, Turkey, Thailand, Nepal. She is a gem of Uttarakhand. I know the work of Professor Tomar. She has done a lot of work in this field. She has also selected in ICWM 2010, ICM in 2010, SIMPA Research School, and she is also selected in ICM 2018 in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, Latin America. She supervised 2 researchers, completed 1 minor research project, co-authored in 3 books. She has done a lot of work in mathematics. I know the ability of Professor Tomar, and I wish her all success.
I think thank you for the nice words, but I think it is more than I deserve.
I know very well.
Thank you, Dr. Paladia, for the nice introduction and for giving me opportunity to give our talk in this international webinar on mathematics. Thank you so much. And thank you, SGRR.
Thank you, ma'am. Now we have next speaker is Nagen Sharma, but IST time 2:30 minutes. He is delay in 2:30 minutes. So we will call Dr. Dharmendra Yadav for the this time. He will talk on the topic sustainable supply chain and lean manufacturing. So I would like to invite Dr. Dharmendra Yadav, Department of Mathematics, Vardhaman College, Bijnor. And I know we have with us Professor Rana from DAV College, US. Rana ji also joined us. Dr. Prasant Sarma ji is also with us. Dr. R.K. Pandey ji from DBS College, he is also with us. They have given the time for the conference. Senior faculty is there. Now the next speaker is Dharmendra Yadav. He is PhD from CCS University Meerut, MPhil from CCS University Meerut, and he is PhD from CCS University with the topic modeling and analysis of some inventory control systems in fuzzy environment. Am I audible?
Yeah.
He has many papers. He published year-wise publication, more than 25 papers he published throughout the career, and he also published some papers in proceedings also, and he also organized and participated in international